Belong, connect, serve, give, go. Again, the words themselves are not magical. You can replicate them, that's okay, or you can do something entirely different. The point is that they are simple, they're clear, and they're memorable, and they remind us what we should be doing as parts of the body of Christ. But okay, now the leadership is met. Now they have come up with this really succinct vision statement. 5 simple words that really anybody can remember. Now it's time to move the church to affirm the vision statement. Where do you begin? Where you begin with your key influencers and get them to be prepared to deal with the 3 challenges that we said earlier. The first of these challenges is the challenge of numbers, particularly if you are counting at each level. How many people are in worship? Belong. How many people are in groups? Connect. How many people are serving within ministries in our church? Serve. What's the level of giving within the church? Give. How many people are reaching beyond our church into the community and beyond? Go. Expect the challenge of numbers if you have a number assigned to it. And it's not all bad to have a number. Sometimes we resist that because we don't want to be accused of being numbers conscious. So the challenge of numbers. The challenge of legalism. There will be many people say, I don't need people telling me what I need to do in order to be a part of this church. But you know, it does help to set expectations about what it means to be a part of the church. If we go to that extreme, if we take that to its logical conclusion, I don't need people telling me what to do. Really what we should say is don't come to church at all, don't give at all, don't show up at all, don't even tell us you're a part of the church. That's the logical conclusion about having no guidelines. We're trying to raise expectations through this vision statement without creating a legalistic environment. And that brings us to another challenge, the challenge of legalism. There will be a sense in your church, particularly people who have been burned in legalistic churches, to set parameters within the vision statement of expectations about what it means to be a part of the church, growing in maturity, will feel to some of your members like legalism, and they will resist that. They will say that I remember those days when I was in this legalistic church and I never want to be a part of it again. Expect this challenge, be ready to deal with it. And this all comes into the rubric or the final category of the challenge of pushback. It is unlikely that you're going to go through this process without anybody raising some kind of concern or objection. As a matter of fact, if you go through this without anybody expressing any opinion whatsoever, you probably have not gone through it in a healthy way, because this discussion, this pushback, this give and take is a part of the healthy process. So, what do? You explain to the members the process vision statement. You explain to the members its purpose to move members to action and to greater depths of discipleship. You stand before them again and again and again and say, this is not just a pithy slogan for our church to remember. It is something to move our members through an entire process where our church will be healthier and we will have a Great Commission impact in the community and belong. In the example that I'm just giving you, you could give them the following. You could say this to the congregation or to those who are buying in or you want them to buy into this vision statement. You could say, hey folks, our vision statement that we're proposing is 5 simple words. Belong, connect, serve, give, and go. Now, by this time, you and your key leadership and influencers have gone through this again and again, and you're to the point where you're almost tired of hearing belong, connect, serve, give, go. Don't get that way, because this is something that you'll always be presenting before the church. And so what do you tell the members? You say, look, here's what belong means. Our members should be a part of faithfully attending weekly worship service. That demonstrates that we're truly a part of the body of Christ because we are worshiping together. That's what belong means. And don't you think that that's really a minimum of what it means to be a part of this church? I mean, what would our church be if we didn't have a gathered worship service? So we're going to say belong is a part of our vision statement. Connect. We really want to emphasize that our members belong in small groups. This is where deeper and more meaningful connection takes place. Those who are part of small groups, in this case connect groups, those who are part of these groups serve more, they give more, They read the Bible more diligently. They pray regularly. It has been demonstrated again and again and again that people who are in groups are more likely to demonstrate attitudes and aptitudes of Christian maturity. Don't you think it's important that people should be in small groups? Serve. We're going to suggest that members should be involved in at least one ministry of the church in a year. That could be short term. It could be ongoing but rotating. If someone is vitally interested in it, they may just say, I love doing this every week. Let me give an example personally. I am on the welcoming group, the welcoming team of our church. Really kind of ironic because I'm an introvert, and to have me on the welcome team is kind of like to have a watchdog welcoming people to the front door. But I'm on the welcome team. But here's how we do it. We rotate, and I'm on the welcome team about once every 3 weeks. I'm ongoing, but it's not expected that I should be there on a regular basis. That involvement is something that I can handle, that I'm used to, and even in my introverted state, I can handle that maybe once every 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm on the welcome team as a part of the internal ministry of our church. Now, and I'm also, a little more involvement, I'm a community group leader. So every week I'm part of a community group, and so that is ongoing. But there are different ways to serve. Give. Hey, we're not going to put a dollar amount, Pastor Frank and the other leaders say. But don't you think that people who are part of the church should be giving to the church? Don't you think that the demonstration of stewardship is a demonstration of discipleship? And finally, go. We don't want to limit all that we do to just taking care of ourselves. We don't want to become a country club mentality church. We want to be a church that is on mission beyond ourselves, beyond these own walls. So we want to go into the community. We want to support people within our community. We want to reach out to our community. And we even want to be involved in mission trips where we're going outside of the city, outside of the state, and even into other countries. And we think this, during the course of a year, every member should be involved in at least one effort, even if it's short term, to reach people through the church. So you get all your key influencers together, and then you do the same thing with the entire congregation. It may get redundant for you. It may get repetitive for you, but here is the reality. This is the only way you're going to get your church to buy in with enthusiasm to this vision statement. Because hear this well, this is not merely a matter of them cognitively accepting what you are and your team is proposing. This is a matter of them embracing it so that they become a part of the vision statement. Do you get that? This vision statement is not just words. The words reflect specific actions. And as we have said, belong means being in a worship service. Connect means being in a group. Serve means serving in a ministry in the church. Give means giving financially. And go means serving or going outside of the church. So as you get people to embrace this, what they're doing is embracing who they are and their involvement in the church. That is why this step is so critical. It is one thing to formulate a vision statement. It is another thing to move your church to affirm the vision statement. Okay, so you've gotten this far. We've had a time of prayer and preparation. We've gotten key influencers involved. We have begun to ask the question, what is minimal viable involvement? We've settled that question, and now we have changed that minimal viable involvement into 5 simple words: belong, connect, serve, give, and go. And now we've even gotten the church to embrace it and to say we're ready to move forward with it. But here's what happens many times. Churches get to this point and they have a season of enthusiasm. They follow the vision statement for a short time, and then they forget all about it. Why is that? Why is it that such a dynamic vision statement that engenders action becomes secondary and often forgotten in a church? It is because the vision statement has not been embedded in the culture of the church. In checklist item number 10, don't skip this to try to move ahead to construct your vision statement. Take time to listen to this, because this will determine whether or not the vision statement has a long-term life within your church. So come back and we'll be on checklist 10, embedding the vision statement and the culture of the church. Take a break, And I'll look forward to seeing you as we begin to finish up what it means, these 10 steps to develop a vision statement, this checklist in your church. We'll see you when you return to this video.